Captivity means slavery. Right. Slavery. He said, he that leadeth into slavery shall go into captivity. Shall go into slavery. What race of people led another race into slavery? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So he's saying, look, it's going to be a judgment for what they did unto you and your people. Give me Revelation 13 and verse 10. Get my sister, right? Like I was showing my brother earlier. Can you identify this about your people? That this happened to us, that we was in the cotton fields, that we were picking cotton, that we was getting beat, we was getting raped, we were getting killed, getting hanged on the trees. Y'all can identify with that, right? Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity.
You know what captivity means? Slavery.
Right.
Slavery. He said, he that leadeth into slavery
shall go into captivity.
Shall go into slavery. What race of people led another race into slavery? The whites. So if it was a white man book, would they take that out? They would take it out. You know what they messed up at? We can read now.
Captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So he's saying, look, it's going to be a judgment for what they did unto you and your people. Now that might be one thing, right? Give me chapter 28 one more time, verse 15. We got to understand, like, okay, if we are the best cooks, if we are the smartest, the fastest, the strongest, nobody can contest us in anything we do, why is it that happened to us? That's a good question. Why it happened to us? What's the answer, sis? Huh? I'm going to show you right here. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So he said, look, if you don't hearken, you don't listen to God, do all his commandments and statutes, which he command you, what's going to happen?
That all these curses shall come upon thee.
Now give me chapter 1 and verse 1, we're coming right back. He said, look, that all these curses going to come upon you. But when you actually read this, who is he speaking to? So we can say, look, the Bible is for everybody. We can say that, but we're going to find out who exactly he's speaking to. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So who is he speaking to? Israel. You see, right. That's simple. That's simple. He said, all Israel. Give me the first curse. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16.
Come on.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
We in Tallahassee right now, right? Who's staying in the projects? We do. We do. If you go to Atlanta, who's staying in the projects? It's us. It's our people. Right. But he said, Well, I'm saying as a race of people, that's us. We struggle like that, right? Yes, ma'am, you can. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. All right, all praise my sister. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who was in the sugar cane, the tobacco fields, the cotton field? Who was in those fields? That was us as a race of people. But give me Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 23. Because he said, if you do not listen to me and keep my commandments, these things will happen to you.
Thank you.
My sister, before you dip out, right? Do you feel like you got a relationship with God?
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
You do? How you had a relationship?
That's
That's it. Give me John 9:31 real quick, because we actually, as a whole, we actually think that. I thought the same thing before I actually found out what the Bible said. I thought, okay, if I pray every night, I ask him for this, that, and the third, he gonna be with me and everything like that. But guess what? The whole time he was not hearing my prayers. Read what you got.
The book of John chapter 9 and verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
What does Scripture just say? That he don't hear who? He don't hear sinners. You know what sin is? Like what? Come on, make it plain to me. Yeah, that's a sin. That's a sin. Yes, that's a sin too. We're going to get a definition for it, all right? Watch this. Read.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So sin is the breaking of God's commandments. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Because one way the nations know how to keep us in sin, they know how to keep it in sin. And the longer we stay in sin, these curses will stay upon us.
Right.
So don't you want these curses to flip? Ain't you tired of going to work every day? To work for another race of people? Then you got to pay taxes. Then you got to barely get by. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman.
Who?
The woman.
So who are we speaking about, my sister? The women. Read.
Shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
What pertains unto a man that a woman should not put on? Pants. Pants. Why? First and foremost, God said it. God said it. And when the sister say, look, I wear the pants in this house, what did she say? You run everything. I'll pay you. Even so. Give me Romans. Because when you put on pants on, guess what kind of spirit they put upon you?
So if I put on pants, like going to work.
Yes, ma'am. Think about it. You just said it. I wear the pants in this house, that means I run everything. If a man is in the house, if you're married, I don't give a damn about what you say, nigga. I run things. Read what you got.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
It said the law is spiritual. So when you actually breaking God's law, putting on pants on, it put a manly spirit upon yourself.
Right.
Yeah, think about it. God wants you to cover up. Your body is only meant for your husband.
Right.
Are you married?
I'm married.
You're not married. So you got to understand, like, okay, boom. Give me first Timothy 2:9 real quick. Now, I'm making it quick for you, my sister. I'm making it quick for you because you got to put on a dress.
Right.
And that's not for us to come out here and bash you, because we know that our people don't know.
Right.
But if you actually want to have a relationship with God, what would you do? So what you going to do moving forward? Uh-oh.
I mean, it's easy to say. So what I got to do? I got to do.
Yes, ma'am. Literally. Think about it. Think about our foremothers, right? You see this lady right here? Down here at the bottom. Now, you know, if we're in the South, and it get hot in the summer.
Right.
It gets super hot. So she out there right now in the summertime picking cotton in that dress. If it went in that dress, pants is the new thing for women to wear in this earth. It was never meant for that. Matter of fact, it actually give our sisters a problem. Don't it give our sisters the yeast infection? Yes. And when a brother actually see you in those pants, is he actually approaching you for what, like, you can bring to the table, or he only approach you for what thing? For what they see. Now read what you got.
1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
You know what modest means? No? I'm going to show you the opposite. Give me Proverbs 7:10. I'm going to show you the opposite of modest, all right? Modest, let's just read it. And I want you to put two and two together, okay? Watch this.
Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
So it said a woman met this man with the attire, the clothing of a harlot. What's a harlot? A harlot, today they call them boat babies. Today they call them, not just not having no clothes, appropriate clothes. Because think about it. Could be a prostitute as well, but think about it though. If our sisters continue to wear pants and all the brothers see when you step out of the house and they see your backside, because nobody built like our sisters, and they see that and they go for that, guess what you're doing to yourself? You might not be on the actual street corner selling yourself, but somebody's paying for it.
Yeah.
Some kind of way. So he said that's not how we should be. So the thing is, get that modest, being modest, that actually cover up yourself, where it's not giving that sexual attraction to yourself. You can still look good. I ain't talking about no nuns. Not those sisters. No, not at all, not at all. Matter of fact, can I show you an example of one of our sisters? All right, give me Judah chapter 10, I think in verse 4. Judah chapter 10 and verse 4. Watch this. This is one of our foremothers, right? And she wore dresses. Read.
The book of Judith, chapter 10 and verse 4. And she took sandals upon her feet, and put about her her bracelets and her chains, and her rings and her earrings.
So she was dressing herself up. She had little sandals on. She had a little chains around her ankle, like she had a little necklace. You see, you get it right. Watch this.
And all her ornaments, and decked herself bravely, to allure the eyes of all men that should see her.
Come to verse 6.
Verse 6. Thus they went forth to the gate of the city of Bethulia, and found standing there Ozias and the ancients of the city.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. And when they saw her, that her countenance was altered, and her apparel was changed, they wondered at her beauty.
They did what?
They wondered at her beauty.
So you can have a dress on, you can still look beautiful.
Right.
Because God, Wisdom Psalm 13:3, God made you in a way that He wants you to stay that way. There's nothing wrong with our sister how He naturally built them. But today's society say, no, you gotta dye your hair this color. You gotta put on these tight fitting clothes. You gotta make yourself look like this in front of men. You gotta be all up in man's face. You gotta do these tight things. You gotta be a feminist. That's what they teach our sisters. Read.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 3. With whose beauty if they being delighted took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
He said, let them know how much better the Lord of them is. He's only with the God of one race of people.
Right.
And that's the nation of Israel.
Right.
So let him know how much the Lord of them is. Read.
For the first author of beauty.
The what?
For the first author of beauty hath created them.
So guess what? The way God made us naturally, with the woolly hair, the melanin in our skin, He said that's the first author of beauty. He created you just like that.
Right.
Right, my sister. Can I give you one more? I'm gonna give you one more anyway. Proverbs 3:31. Watch this.
I got time.
All right, okay, all praise this.
Because I've been out for 35 minutes.
Okay, all praise, watch this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31.
Bring it up.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
You know what envy means? Yeah, or you desire something that somebody else got.
Right.
Read.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
You know what the oppressor is? Ooh. What is that? Like, who's the oppressor? Somebody that's oppressing another person. So it's one race that is oppressing your people today. Who is that? It's the white people. It's white, but it's mainly the white people. The same people that brought here on slave ships, that put the chains upon our necks, the one that's gunning us down, that's having the school to prison pipeline. It's those people. But God said, don't do what? Go ahead.
Wasn't it the Spaniards that wiped out the Aztecs?
Ooh, you correct, my brother. And that's actually in the Bible.
Is that because they didn't have any rules?
No, because God said, I'm going to send a nation against you. They're going to spare none of y'all.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
Read.
And I'm going to show you that too.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the forward is abomination to the Lord.
He said, don't choose none of their ways. My sister, how do your natural hair grow? Woolly. Is that your natural hair?
That is not.
You straighten it?
Do I straighten it? No, not anymore.
Not
I
anymore?
just braid it down.
Okay, all praise, my sister. But the thing is, well, I'm bringing to your attention, right? Because as a race of people, we want to put blind in our hair. God said, don't do that thing. That's a leprosy.
Right.
We want to change our hair to look like those that enslaved us. He said, don't envy your oppressor and don't choose none of their ways. So, my sister, I hope you take heed of that, okay? Okay, all praise. Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all. Nice to meet y'all.
And likewise, sis.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And